Hey fam, I'm almost there. Trying to get to exactly 1K or 1,000 mods. So far I have 821. That's not including plugins and texture and mesh replacements, um, or sound mods, I guess. So I'm gonna do a quick load here. Just gonna pick the latest load that I've made, or rather save. Um, My goal ultimately is I want exactly 1,000 mods, but I want my game to look no different from a vanilla Skyrim. So my improvements that I've made personally is I've gone back and I put HDT or SMP physics in everyone's hair. That just means the hair moves like hair. The characters that didn't have them because the mod is incomplete, by default, I went back and manually myself replaced the characters who are incomplete their hairs with the HDT SMP clone of the model, and this is the end result. This looks modernized as heck, and I'm sure you noticed the height difference between the characters. This is Ulfric. Ulfric is huge. Even the height difference between the female captain there and the guy they're about to behead. It's really staggering. Opposing to that, mod-wise, I have things like birds in the sky, which is important. 3D clouds instead of just a picture of clouds like the default game. The trees in the game were too repetitive. They were just like the same tree over and over. I found a mod that adds hundreds and thousands of different models for the trees, and this is the end result. It still feels like Skyrim. It's just just better meshes and better replacements. As you can see in the far back, both sconces are lit. That's very important. That's something most modded games miss. I went ahead and replaced every race's meshes for their armors and body, respectively, with alternative versions. I had to go in order, starting from shell texturing for fur, the addition of physics to certain body parts, of course the texture replacements. I have to make sure they don't clash with the new shell texturings. It's a whole gamut of things, but this is the end result. You'll also notice that Alduin is replaced. He has an 8K texture replacement. He's also has a modification to his skeleton too. Very minute modification. But this is the end result. It still looks and feels like Alduin. Okay, I'm gonna give this a second. You guys probably noticed, I'm sure you can't hear it because the microphone is on, but I have the opening scene overhaul, which basically adds in cutout lines and extends a lot of things. It even adds in followers to the start of the game. It's pretty insane mod. God, it looks incredible. So in regard to my tasteful texture replacements and modifications, I went back and added beards to characters that I think should have beards. This is medieval times. Um, the body meshes are okay. There's special unique weapons for each unique character. So each character that is super important or unique, they have their own items. Of course, the SMP hair mods looks incredible. I added a mod called Smoking Torches, which just adds smoke to torches because torches smoke. But I did not add the mod that adds smoke to candles. Candles do not smoke. Just little things for immersion, realism, just improvement of the game. Again, my goal is 1,000 mods. When I reach 1,000 mods, I'm going to when I reach 1,000 mods, I'm going to stop adding mods here, and I'm just going to focus on things like finding shell texturing mods, or which are basically just mesh replacements, and parallaxing. Parallaxing is very important too. So I was looking for those flowers, making sure they're replaced. Yeah, but that's once I reach my end goal of 1K. Look how amazing he looks. I delarked the weapons. I believe it's called believable weapons. This is incredible. I went through the Skyrim ESM and I modified the weight the default weights for the old people. Well, for every race in general, they didn't make sense at first. I made the orcs maxed out. I made the Nords maxed out. I made the characters that should be skinny skinny. An example is Argonians. I made Argonians very thin because they're swamp creatures. Creatures in the swamp aren't fat, and Argonians don't mimic crocodiles. They're actually more aligned with lizards. My Khajiits are actually Brolic because they come from elsewhere. I'm going to cover the races too in a second here. Oh, this is burn free shock, which basically turns the corpse. It chars the corpse, among other things. There's some pretty crazy, gory effects. I have maximum carnage, maximum destruction, etc. It's another view of his new weapon here. Was it General Tullius? Let's go, go guy. Yeah, just little things. But as I'm running through here, oh, those birds are incredible. I see that. Think he's slick. Yeah, but simple tweaks like birds in the sky makes this game feel so much more realistic. I feel like I'm outside. The birds, the trees, the realistic clouds, the mountain replacements. I always follow Rayloff, and the reason I follow Rayloff is because they just try to behead me. Like, what? It's foolish to follow someone if they try to murder you. Okay. Oh, don't like that. Yeah, Alduin's slightly more aggressive there. Not sure if he does that in the default game, but he sure did do it here. The lighting mods, you could see the shadow from the chandelier above. That's crazy. This looks so good. Y'all, Ulfric, he just simply looks amazing. Just the physics added to his clothing, his hair physics. This is incredible. This feels and it looks. I have Ragnarok, by the way, which is just like a rug upscale to look like real rugs. But I'm sure a lot of you, I'm sure all of you agree, this still looks like vanilla Skyrim. It just looks like a better version of it, you know? Had to replace the candles. The candle models were terrible in the default game. Oh, there's the what I was saying earlier about there's no smoke on the candles. Candle. I always hated that mod. That's right up there with those Sims hairstyles that people mod into their games and pretty much destroy them. So I'm going to wait. He has cut me loose first. Matching eyebrows. His eyebrows matches his beard, which is important too. Most people don't get that right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here. Okay, testing him out here. Oh, I thought he was still in the handcuffed animation. He's not. During the Alduin attack, when he shoots those two waves or those fuses, one hits you, and then he shoots one elsewhere. But that one that hits you, usually it injures your character because I have wounds and injuries in this game. So yeah, that explains why the character looks kind of messed up like this. I think his ribs or his arm is hurt. I can't tell which one. So I'm gonna load up show race menu before I get out of here. Hopefully you all agree. This just looks like a modernized version of the base game. So what I've done here for my races is I try to focus on age. So I have, for example, I have Argonians, I have teenage Argonians. Well, that's not a good example. Humanoid is probably better. I have Bretons, I have elder Bretons, and then I have teenage Bretons. And every humanoid race has 3 different age brackets, and the beast races they only have 2, which is adult and teen. And I just thought that was an awesome idea. Aside from that, I focused on the lore friendly races that you can add in here, and I went ahead and just added in dwarves, which is I'm not showing it. I added in dwarves, which are more like J.R.R. Tolkien or Lord of the Rings type dwarves. I added in dweemers, which are actually part of. Is that really what his hair looks like? Yeah, that's what his hair looks like. Wow, I don't like that. But yeah, I added in Dweemers, which are actually part of the original Skyrim lore too. As far as the elves, I went kind of nuts. There's so many different versions of elves that it's gotten to a point where it's confusing. I still think the female main character for the cinematics in the ESO trailers, I think that's a wood elf that does magic, but people are saying it's a high elf, so I can't prove it. Her features, she has dark brown hair and her skin is brown, not yellow. And the only offset or weird thing about her character is she did magic. But I'm gonna take people's word for it. I'm not like a super lore junkie, so I wouldn't be able to correct people. But here's my collection of elves here, and the things that I added in for the elves. You'll quickly notice each elven race, specifically for the default game, they have two. They I guess they're included in the bracket as beast races too, but they only have adult and teenager. And then aside from that, I have new types of elves added in here, which for example the Heartland elves. There's the sea elf. That hairstyle is killing me. That's actually from a, I think it's called Kojiko. That's actually from a mod, a hair mod that I have in here. That's not an NPC replacer. So I'm kind of butthurt. It's messing with my presets. I'll go tweak that later. And then the snow elf race, like it's pretty cool having all the races. I even put the Ellen race in here, which is intrusive, which is basically like you can make an anime character pretty much. It's jarring, it stands out a lot, but it's out of the way, so I didn't mind it. Other examples, probably should just show the difference. That's crazy how the default hairs are on my regular races. I'm gonna get to the bottom of why those weird hairs are on my characters. I hate hair mods like that. So here's my Imperial, my Khajiit. They look so different. Like all of my races look totally different. Oh, here's another example of more variations of the same race that I've added in. As you see, my Khajiits are loaded with just various different races, which is like races that makes the Khajiit look like a panther, and a race that makes him look like a lion, and a race that makes him look like a tiger, and so on and so forth. I think you get the point. This looks like a bug here, my snow leopards. I'll try to tweak that later. Hopefully I can get that gibberish off of the end of it. But you get the gist there. There's a race called Lungari, which is basically like rabbits. You can play as, I love rabbits. You can play as a rabbit character, which is super cool. And is it Saishi? Saishi? I want to say it's Saishi, but Saishi is just like actual dragon people. They're like a Japanese or I want to say Japanese dragon people from Akavir, which is pretty nuts too. I even have my most famous vampire races, which is Canum and Rosalium, which I've already renamed and put a proper biography in, which are pretty amazing. These are from Nosgoth or Legacy of Cain. I'm actually going to go back and add the default races from that mod in too. I have a Witcher race, so you could just blatantly make a Geralt if you wanted to. And then of course my Berserk collection. Berserk is a manga. It's a Japanese manga by Kentaro Miura. Um, it's super lore friendly with Skyrim. It's pretty much lore friendly with anything medieval. So I went ahead and chunked each one in it. And if you see my previous videos, I went ahead and I've added in my own personal texture replacers. I pretty much, God dang it, I pretty much upscaled. I really wish I could make them stand up straight so I could zoom in, but I upscaled all the textures for every one of the Berserk races, so that they so that they mix with the base game. It's kind of hard to see because I have to zoom out. Unfortunately, it's forcing me to do it. Quick sec switch here, just showing the Berserk races while I'm here. I think X Commander's Casca. Yeah, so it looks incredible. Look how straight her arms are. This is actually what Casca looks like in a manga, by the way, too. She's very athletic. Yeah, they're all lore friendly. They're all hyper detailed. I made sure to place every texture on the each one of the races. This is the end result. It's incredible. She's too fat. Not fat, but she's there we go. She had a neck scene. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just going through the races really quickly. But yeah, I'm almost there. I'm at 821 ESPs, and that's not including plugins, textures, and mesh replacements, sound replacements, just strictly the ESPs. And my goal is 1K, so I got about a little under 200. I say 800. I got about 800. I'm rounding, of course. Mods left to add in before before I'm done. Not 800, 200, 200 mods before I'm done. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Just I've had this before and I've modified it before and I've broken it recently, and it's just really heartbreaking when you put all this work into it and then it breaks. But now I'm a lot smarter, and I know how to back up everything. I know how to do this in a in a manner where I can't break it and ultimately lose it. um, my word of advice for all of you out there is to do your bug testing. Make sure you test out. I know it sucks to hear, but test out every single thing you add in, because there's clashes. There's certain ones that won't work. There's things that just don't mix, and you have to do your research in depth. So oh yeah, I didn't even cover my presets. These, I guess these count as modifications too. Still sorting. If you see a preset just willy-nilly just laying out like this, it's without proper labeling. It's because I'm still organizing and figuring things out. But if you I'm scrolling down here. For the ones that have the name of the race in front of it, followed by an underscore, these are the ones that are already pre-made and they're organized, and I know they work fine. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I've already got my little preset collection going here that I'm working on. It's pretty beast. It's very fun. But yeah, I'm not gonna drag the video out anymore. Just showcasing, my hard work here. And this is my theory. I think you can cake this game in copious amounts of mods without turning it into something goofy or freaking MMO, for the love of God. You could just modernize things, add physics to everything, and replace the upscale the textures so they're not muddy. And lighting mods help too. Do add in certain lighting mods. Another word of advice for those of you out there who have the dreaded light flicker. If you mod this, you know what I'm talking about. But the light flicker only occurs. It doesn't occur when you add different light mods. People have that confused. That can or is a possibility, but that's not the common thing. What it is mods that add torch lighting. Torch lighting mods tend to cause flicker because it turns off the in-cell lighting mods themselves. Um, Besides like clashing of light mods, you having two separate light mods on that affect the same cell that don't want to play together. Torch mods or torch light mods are infamous for causing that flicker. Just a heads up. So for you people out there who are experiencing the light flicker mod, which is when you turn the camera to a certain angle and then your lighting just turns off, like this giant chandelier on the floor, this would disappear if I had a bad torchlight mod on with it, or another lighting mod that it shouldn't be with. Just yeah, go through your load order. Make sure you don't have like a torchlight mod, and if you do, disable it, and then test your game out, and you'll see that the flicker goes away. So that's always like fascinated me. But yeah, I'm dragging the video out now. But yeah, this is Skyrim. It's modernized, and I'm almost there. 200 more ESPs, roughly 200 more ESPs. Really, it's I have less than 200. Really, it's like 179 more. But yeah, yeah. All right, I'm gonna pop smoke. God bless.